While the streets of cities around the world are teeming with tens of thousands of energized people, they're climate change activists, and they're in the streets to pressure world leaders to take real, concrete action on one of the world's most challenging problems. These are live pictures of the biggest rally underway right now in New York. Organizers say at least 100,000 people are taking part in a march through Manhattan during this 5-hour demonstration. There are hundreds of Canadians in this crowd and many more from other countries. They want to focus the world's attention on climate change. This comes on the eve of an emergency United Nations summit that will bring international leaders to New York. The CBC's Paul Hunter is with the Canadian contingent in that crowd in Manhattan, and he joins us now. So, Paul, you've been in that crowd for a couple of hours now. What are people telling you about this march and why they want to be there?
Well, first let me tell you about the crowd. It's monster size. You know, you say we were with the Canadians, but we tried to scoot ahead of them a little bit to see who else was. We took the subway, like a bunch of stops, came out to the earlier part of the march, and the Canadians, we've been waiting here for half an hour. The crowd is so big, the Canadians are still way back there. I say the Canadians, but really it's the oil sands crowd, because all these sections of this march are kind of themed off, and surprise, surprise, the oil sands is stocked with a lot of Canadians. What people are telling me, whether they're Canadian or American or from wherever in the world they've come, is that enough is enough, right? We've seen these kind of marches before. People here have been in them before. There are, that said, lots of people who have never been in such a march before. What they want from the United Nations this week is something meaningful, something of substance. Enough is enough. They say that the key thing here, not so much the message, which of course is important, it's the number of people that are saying it. Everybody here votes. Everybody here lives in this country and on this planet, is what they're saying. And it's about time government leaders finally listened and did something. That's who this message is aimed at for their the climate summit at the UN just a few blocks from here on Tuesday.
So they're genuinely setting the stage for that climate summit on Tuesday. What will happen there?
World leaders will get up, and about 4 minutes each, they will talk. And some will make announcements, some will say we ought to do something. What people here are saying is, it's sort of enough talk, right? Like, do something, take steps. All of this, don't expect anything out of any big world legislative changes coming out of the Tuesday meeting. All of this is really to set the momentum for the talks in Paris next year. That's what this is, sort of big picture is about. That's where change is going to happen. What they want to do to say to the leaders who are at this summit this Tuesday is start thinking about that, because by the time Paris comes around, that's when the action has to happen. So this message, I'll walk you around again, take a look at, it goes all the way down here, blocks and blocks and blocks, turns a corner, it comes from all the way up there. You know, I've been to a lot of these demonstrations over the years. I've never seen anything like this in terms of the scale, the number of people that have come out to this one.
Yeah, it is certainly quite a scene there. Paul, thanks for bringing it to us. We really appreciate it. That's the CBC's Paul Hunter in New York City. Well, many world leaders will address that emergency summit on climate change at the UN this week. Canadian Prime Minister Stephen Harper is not among them, and he's been criticized for that. His office released this statement today. The PMO says we have a strong voice in Minister Aglukak representing Canada at the summit. You can expect her to make several announcements regarding initiatives that will strengthen the steps Canada has already taken to combat climate change. The Prime Minister will take part in the climate dinner with the Secretary General on Tuesday night.